I don't know, for some reason making this video is like so nerve-wracking. Just thinking about looking at that feedback is like kind of scary. Hello everyone, I'm back with another video today, and as you can probably see from the title, I plan on exposing some of the feedback that I got from the genetic counseling programs. Basically, when I was preparing that previous video for you guys about how to prepare for genetic counseling program interviews, I realized that I actually wrote down all the feedback that I got from my applications, and I thought I'd just, share it with you guys so that one, hopefully you can all get some insight into what it's like to receive feedback from programs, and two, hopefully you can use this feedback to enable you to get into the programs that you want. And so to preface this video, I don't plan on giving out the names of the programs that I applied for or which programs gave me which feedback, because there are so many genetic counseling programs out there, and a lot of the feedback that they gave me is really applicable to anyone's program, and so it's not really helpful for you to think, okay, she got feedback from this program and I'm applying for this program, so I need to make it exactly what she was saying. I just don't think it's helpful. Second of all, this video is not, it's not me bragging about what my experience is. It's more just giving you a gauge of, what sort of applicant I am. And I don't know, I'm kind of nosy, so like when I was looking at all these forms about people admitted as students and like what their experience is, I really liked to know that kind of information ahead of time. So anyway, without further ado, let's talk about what feedback I got from the genetic counseling programs. So post match day, how the match algorithm works is that all the programs rank the people that they interviewed, and all the people who interviewed for these programs rank the programs that they interviewed at. Alright, stay with me. So after the algorithm does its thingamajig, and sometimes there are empty slots with each of the programs. So even if you did not match on match day, there still might be the opportunity for you to get into one of these missing slots. My thing is that you have to be invited to interview for these slots. And after that entire process, that's maybe like end of April, then it might be appropriate for you to start asking for feedback. And around this time, a lot of the programs in like May to June might be onboarding their incoming students, so they might not get back to you right away. I would just make sure to keep following up with them if you haven't heard back from them. On average, a month or so for them to get back. Some programs are a lot more responsive than others, so some might be like, hey, I received your email, but right now we're in the middle of onboarding new students. We'll not get back to you until, August or even September sometimes. Yeah, so I waited until spring of and summer of 2020 to ask the programs that I applied for feedback. So note that not every program is willing to give you feedback. Second of all, even if you get feedback, a lot of the times it's not personalized, so they have a frequently asked questions of why was I not accepted sheet that they give to you. Sometimes this could be helpful, but honestly a lot of the times it's just really general stuff. It's basically what they have on their website of what they look for, like this kind of GPA, lots of crisis counseling, lots of genetics knowledge, shows that anyway. So with that said, I asked for feedback from these programs. Oh, and what I should say is that when you ask for feedback, be very polite when requesting it. So, a lot of these programs get hundreds of applications, and they are doing you a huge favor by re-looking over your application and giving you feedback specifically on your package, and so thank them profusely. So a little bit of background about me. I graduated with a bachelor's in biotechnology, so my background is a lot in the genetics field. So I took courses in human genetics, microbial genetics, I can never say that word. So for me, my application, the genetics part wasn't really an issue for me. It was more of showing that I had the soft skills to become a genetic counselor, to show that I had an understanding of what the career looked like, and also standing out somehow, because there's a lot of people applying with some sort of genetics or bio background to these programs. So after I graduated from my university, I decided to become a research genetic counselor assistant, and so I was working at that job maybe a year and a half before I actually applied. I applied to 8 programs, and I only actually interviewed with 1 program. I will not say which program it was. Let's just say that I was hoping to get more than that. Anyway, I'm just kidding, it's fine. I'm actually really happy with my public health program that I'm in right now. After I graduated, while I was working in this genetic counselor assistant position, I focused mainly on getting in my volunteering hours. So that included doing crisis and suicide hotline, volunteering with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, getting publications out, that kind of thing. So now for the time everyone's been waiting for, I'm going to talk about my feedback, which I have not looked at since I got the feedback. I applied for 8 programs. 2 of the programs gave me frequently asked questions as to, why an applicant may or may not have been a good fit. One of the programs just never got back to me, and the residual of them gave me personalized feedback, which is awesome. So there are 4 types of feedback that I got from those programs. So one is obviously, what are things that they liked about my application and what things that they think I could have improved on. So the things that they did like is that they thought my GPA and my GRE scores were competitive. They also liked my research experience, so they thought that was a benefit. The things that I could improve on are 3 main categories. So one is the experiences. So they felt that I didn't really have that much shadowing experience. It didn't really show that I knew what it was like to be a genetic count. Programs really wanted to see more of like me being able to see different counseling styles, me being able to talk more about how these shadowing experiences really showed my knowledge about the field. The second criticism that they had was that they felt like my personal statement didn't really show what I was like as a person. So I mainly talked about my research experience, my volunteering experience, etc., but they felt like it was more of a bullet list or me reciting what my resume showed, and so they gave the feedback of needing to more personally show stories about how these experiences shaped me as a person and how that would benefit me as a genetic counselor. Yeah, so for example, one of the feedback I got was talk more about yourself. What was the transition like from doing calls at the suicide crisis hotline to text or the chat line? The programs felt like I didn't really show that I did a lot of research into the programs themselves, so keep that in mind. And I really wish I could show you what my personal statement was, but I can't because it gives a lot of personal information about me, and I'm still trying to be, somewhat anonymous on the internet. So sorry, I can't really talk much about what their experiences are, but I totally agree with a lot of the feedback that they gave me. So I really think that all the feedback that they gave me are really things that I can work on. It was nothing intangible where it was just like, a personality trait or something like that I couldn't work on. It is, just basically experience and actually really talking about the experiences that I had that I needed to do a better job of. But yeah, so that's sort of the feedback I got from genetic counseling programs. You can leave a comment below about whether or not you thought this video was useful, or maybe like what you want to see next. That'd be great, and hope you guys are enjoying this kind of content because I've been having a lot of fun learning how to make videos and trying to be creative in that regard. So thanks. What year is it? I don't even know. Yeah, 2020. I applied in year 2019 to 2020. Oh my god, it feels like forever ago. Okay, you guys, I made an outline for how I planned to make this video go, but I'm still learning and I don't even know. I keep not even going with the outline that I even set for myself. Why?